Hey YouTube, so today we're talking about you've got your new little puppy and then, oh my word, and they are coming home. What do you do in the first 24 hours?
Because it can be traumatic, right?
Of them joining you.
It can be dramatic, it can be traumatic.
You can be overwhelmed with the cuteness.
It can be very emotional. You might get that moment of going, what on earth have I just done? Like, what have I done? Have I made a huge mistake? Is she going to cry the house down all night? Is she going to create absolute havoc with our family? Is the dog gonna love her? Is the cat gonna love her? Are my children gonna behave with her? Will granny or grandpa or will my granddaughter manage the fact that I've got a puppy? I mean, it just can be a lot, right?
Absolutely. And so guys, you have found your new home. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to do so. Let's talk about what we do in those first 24 hours. Okay, so the thing that we do really right from minute one, day one, is
dot straight away.
We ditch the bowl. Now, ditching the bowl means taking that daily food allowance that your dog starts each and every day with and creating an experience from it. Now, what I'm doing is I've got food in my hand, and what you'll find with your young puppy is that actually, you know, even just chewing is quite exhausting.
And they won't necessarily even know how to locate your hand. So don't be surprised if your young puppy, you've just brought them home, they're just little like her, or it might be a bigger breed, but they're still little. And you know what? They don't always know even how to locate that food. So it might be that you just allow them to eat from your hands, whatever that might be. Now, whatever you feed, find the solutions. It might be on a spoon, it might be in a tube, it might be in your hand, it might be kibble, it might be raw, whatever it is that you're planning to use, find a way to ditch the bowl. Because for us, we have huge results in relationship via the time we spend, which is done through ditch the bowl.
Absolutely. And so all I'm getting her to do is follow my hand with bits of food in, and it might be that I pop some on the floor. Can she find it on the floor? Oh, she did. It took her a little bit of like, oh my word, what's happening? He changed the game. And I might do that again. Yeah, clever. And what we often see people doing is kind of, why didn't you see it? Rolling pieces.
They didn't spot it. And that's simply because they don't have that ability just yet. They're still not really, they don't even physically have that ability.
No,
right?
So we have to grow the experiences in line with what their eyes and what their brain understands right now. So notice that I'm building up to more and more rolling, and she's like, oh, this is really fun. Now it's like Meals on Wheels. Now my food's moving.
Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, clever. I know. And what you see is that she's bouncing back to me and she's thinking, this guy's the best guy in the world. I've only just met him and I think he's my favourite person.
Can't help himself.
And it's purely by creating an experience with their food, that daily food allowance, and it's our first thing that we start in those 24 hours as soon as you get a puppy that creates amazing relationship, a desire to stay close, and it's the foundation for all of the reward-based training that we're going to do with them from now on.
Now, secondly, and this links really nicely to our first top tip that is sort of, they link very, very well, and this is the relationship bank account. Now let's think about, we bring this little puppy home and initially the excitement's there and everything feels great, and then very quickly this overwhelmed feeling can sort of kick in, right?
And we're overwhelmed by their cuteness in part, but actually they're not overwhelmed by our cuteness. Their relationship bank account's pretty empty from our perspective.
So we want to be growing that relationship bank account and minimize the fact that we might have to take out of that relationship bank account. So let me give you an example. We want to think about the fact that actually when we consider relationship bank account, we don't want to be taking out of it. So an example of an addition to the bank account, just what Tom's doing here. So Tom's playing some food games. That's a relationship bank account boost. This is something that's helping the bank account. Tom is putting in good experiences, whether that's 2 feet on him, whether that's some ditch the bowl games.
Maybe it's a bit of turning. Wow, a spin.
Could even be some play. So it could even be some tuggy or some play or some retrieve or some fetch. Lots of different things we can consider for relationship bank account. Now, also we might have relationship withdrawal. That could be going to the vets for a visit and they have some sort of tablet or injection or some sort of medication. Those can be withdrawals, and it's worth considering that bank account from day one. What are you doing? And you can see this is a creative session for us. What are you doing to top up the bank account, and what withdrawals might be happening accidentally or deliberately?
And if we're really intentional about making sure that we're paying lots of positive experiences into that relationship bank account, that's the difference between your little pup the first time they go outside choosing you, or the squirrel or the dog over there or the person over there that's saying, oh my God, it's a cute puppy. If we've built up this relationship at home through lots of positive experiences and no withdrawals, or as few withdrawals as we can do in that period, well, we're going to be winning.
Winning, and that's what we want. So we want lots of good experiences, minimum sort of, and lots of positive relationship boosts, minimum sort of negative experiences and withdrawals. And actually, we know that way we're on to a winner and we're topping that bank account up. Okay, third one, we want you to start as you mean to go on. And I'm going to give you a tiny story here. And the story is that I know when I've had my mum and dad around in the past and we've had a puppy, they've said, oh, let him jump, let him jump. Can I cuddle him on my lap? Can I have him all over me? I just want him. He's so lovely. He's so lovely. And then when he becomes adult, they might say, oh, don't let him jump. Oh, no, not on the furniture. Oh, no, he isn't allowed to do that. Don't let him do that. And so the rules kind of change because he's an adult. We think start as you mean to go on. So if you mean to go on that actually your dog isn't allowed on furniture, start that way. Start implementing those sort of household suggestions day to day right away.
And we're fine with whatever. You know, if you want to have 6 dogs and they all sleep in bed with you, you go for it.
You literally own it. It's yours.
You make the rules, but the key is that we've got to be really clear about them right from the word go.
So we're intentional about what we decide that we're going to do with our puppy. So let's say this little puppy here, when she goes to bed, she'll sleep in a puppy pen. That puppy pen doesn't have toileting pads. If she wants to go out, she'll sort of make a little bit of a noise and we'll take her out. That would be how Tom or I might bring up a puppy. If we travel, our dogs come with us and journeys are rock and roll and they just get used to them. We don't protect them from journeys. We kind of, when I say protect them, we do. We travel with them lots and we make sure they're a good deal.
But we don't avoid them, right?
We don't avoid them. And so we start the way we need to go on. Both Tom and I don't have dogs on the furniture without being invited, and that would be an invite only. Both Tom and I start training boundaries from day one.
Absolutely.
It's up to you, most importantly.
They become more of what they do each and every day, and that's especially true when they're this age and literally their brain is expanding and their brain is like spaghetti and all these different options of, you know, directions that it could grow in. That brain is going to become more of what it does each and every day.
Which right now is wagging the tail and eating the microphone. So let's consider this. Next one, guys, and this is super important. This is calmness. This is what we want to have as our foundation to all of your pup's learning. And we know that the first 24 hours, just like it is for her right now, may be difficult in terms of calmness. And yet this is something we're all looking to grow.
And this tends to be a time, the first 24 hours, where you're going to want family to visit, you're going to want your friends to come over so they can have a cuddle. The thing is, if we're filling the days with excitement early on, well, they become more of what they do each and every day, and so you're going to get a more excitable adult dog at the end of it.
That might mean you have a dog permanently with their disco pants on, whereas actually you're considering more maybe a relax on the sofa with your PJs.
Yeah, she's learning it's a spa, not a rave right now, right?
Spa, not a rave.
We've created a step-by-step process that literally all you've got to do is follow it and you'll create calmness. It's called the calmness wheel or the calmness triad, and we have a specific YouTube Absolute Dogs TV episode for you on exactly that you can check out on our YouTube channel.
Now the thing with calmness, guys, before we move on, is it really is the greatest gift you can give your dog. It's a gift that she's certainly going to need. It is a huge gift. We want you to make sure you jump in and have a look at it. So make that on your list for the next ones to check out. Okay, next one, guys, and I think this is really important. Both Tom and I coach a lot of new owners and new owners with their new puppy, and I recently had an owner and she said he's not house trained, he's chewing stuff, he's jumping all over the furniture, he bites my son.
He's stealing my glasses.
He steals my glasses. I call him back and he does this sort of dodgems game and then goes, woo, woo. Is he trying to dominate me? He is a dominant dog, and the local trainer has said he is just needing to dominate me and I need to dominate him. Here's the thing. We want you to be more vigilant with your dog. So let's say you've had the dog out to go to the toilet, they went outside, they didn't go to the toilet. Don't bring them back in and then give them freedom in your house, because they are highly likely to now go to the toilet in your house. I know that might sound crazy. I promise you that is what happens. Be vigilant. Take your dog out, have them on lead, ask them to go to the toilet. Our cue for our dogs is hurry up. Don't tell her, because we don't want to go in right now. That would be pretty disgusting. Tom would not feel so great about that. But he's a vet. He's dealt with it before, I'm sure. And so the thing is, what we're saying when we say hurry up, that means go to the toilet. Go to the toilet on cue. We start to teach that from day one. Whatever day your dog came into your house, that's the day they learn it. Vigilance in toileting, vigilance in what you've left around the house for your dog to go grab, vigilance in how much access you've given your dog to the house. No, they don't need to have access to the whole house from day one, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I can think of an example, it was actually with my mum, and she had her young puppy, and she says, Tom, is there a game for that? He's eating the cat food. And I said, yes, Mum, the game for that is let's pop the cat food up on a worktop while he's learning, and the cat will be able to go up and get the cat food and puppy won't. And then when he's got the skills to be able to control himself around very high protein, tasty cat food, well, then we can pop it back down on the floor. And she's like, it's genius. It's genius. There is a game for that. And so sometimes, especially with our young puppies, we've got to be aware, guys, that the game, the training is sometimes actually let's set up the environment to suit where they are at right now, because we can't teach them everything on day one. Let's set up the environment for success and let's be vigilant.
When we think about things like toileting, whether it's chewing, dogs getting up to mischief, really settling in a new environment, setting up a good environment, maybe it's being able to leave the room, maybe it's separation, whatever it is, think vigilance in how you're going to approach it. Always have the plan in how you're going to approach it. Don't leave things like socks on the floor or shoes. Don't leave shoes on the floor in your puppy's pathway, in their flight path, day one. Start to think about how you can help them make the right decisions, so that actually a great example probably is Illy, because Illy never looks to kitchen counters, right?
Yeah,
and yet she's counter height.
She's a big dog, she's counter height, and yet she's never put her paws on a kitchen counter or taken anything from a kitchen counter because she's never practiced it. So just by the fact that she's never done that, because I set her up for success early on and would, reward her for keeping 4 feet on the floor, it's not even in her vocabulary to think to do it now. And so, you can leave the steak and the 2 roast chickens on the kitchen counter, leave the room, and she's absolutely not going to get there. Now, the next tip that we've got for you is that they don't always know best. In fact, often they know worst. And so what we've got to be aware of is, like little pup right here, we had, she thought excitement was going to happen. And I've thought, you know what, I know what's best, and you don't need any more excitement right now. You need calmness. And so we've just worked on some calmness strategies that literally involve just holding her, stroking her, bringing my energy down. And you can see that she's starting to think, maybe calmness is an option. But she wouldn't have picked that herself. And so often your puppy will put themselves in situations or make choices that you think, oh, they want to do it. Actually, that's not always in their best interests. And so we actively have to guide them. We are their guides in this situation. We are responsible for them, and we've got to take ownership of that.
And I think it's important to know that you absolutely have the duty, the honour, the option to step up and to step into those shoes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, guys, that is how we would tackle the first 24 hours, right? Notice that there's a lot about setting our dogs up for success. Notice there's a lot about using this daily food allowance that you were going to stick it into a bowl and give it to them before we spoke to you. And now you're actively going to use it for something that's really going to grow your puppy.
Let's not throw money down the drain. You know what? Let's utilise that and let's actually use it to some good. So actually, for me, it's just the way to think, actually, I can use this in my exchange.
Go forth. Have fun. You're about to go, head on a journey of a lifetime. Don't
feel overwhelmed. Always choose excitement. It's a way better way to live.
And remember that we're here for you. Check out the Absolute Dogs YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. There are so many resources that we've prepared for you to help you. That was the learning. Now all you've got to do is take action, and you don't have any choice because the puppy's right there.
Enjoy your puppy. Enjoy your puppy. You know what? You've made a great decision. Get out. You're watching the right videos. You've got your puppy. Now go play some games.
Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.